Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're talking Carrier. Now, if you're like me, perhaps you're thinking Carrier Pigeon, or perhaps you're thinking of one of these aircraft carriers. Well, I'm not quite sure how you can buy stock in either one of these. No, we're not talking about these type of carriers today. We're talking about Carrier, as in HVAC, refrigeration, and fire and security. Now, I kind of stumbled into Carrier back in the spring. I own some United Technology. I explained in a different video, United Technology spun off Carrier and Otis Elevator when they merged with Raytheon. So suddenly, some Carrier and Otis Elevator showed up in my online brokerage account. When it first showed up in my account, it was hovering right around $12 a share. That seemed like a bargain to me, so I went ahead and bought some more. I've been very pleased with it as the share price has just steadily increased. Now, this might not be quite as sexy as some of the other stocks that we've been showing you recently, where the share price has suddenly taken a jump. But quite honestly, I really like seeing this slow, steady increase. Now, why am I presenting Carrier to you as a consideration for buying now if the price has gone up so well? Hasn't it capped out? Well, we never can guarantee what shares of a company will be doing, but let me present to you why I think Carrier stands to increase their business as the COVID vaccine becomes available. Carrier has introduced the Carrier Pods. Now, what is a Carrier Pod? It's designed for precise cooling and monitoring for COVID-19 vaccines. It can reliably keep vaccines in a deep frozen state and provide the telematics and analytics to prove that the vaccine has been kept in that state. This is what it looks like. You can see that it's very transportable, sort of designed like an 18-wheeler trailer. You can see that it comes in two flavors, the prime line unit and the natural line unit. One is designed to keep things at minus 35 Celsius, and the other is designed to keep them down to minus 40 Celsius. Now, here's the thing about these two vaccines that are most available now, the Pfizer vaccine, Pfizer/BioNTech, and the Moderna vaccine. The Pfizer vaccine has to be kept at minus 70 Celsius, and the Moderna vaccine has to be kept at minus 20 Celsius. Now, if you're looking at these two units, you're obviously thinking, wait a minute, these don't go to minus 70 Celsius. How is this useful? Well, the Pfizer vaccine is going to have to be kept with either dry ice or cryogenic material to keep it down at minus 70. But if you store those smaller containers in one of these larger containers that you see before you, it can prolong the dry ice or cryogenic. It'll double the time that will last. You can actually keep about 1 million vaccines in one of these trailers. You can see before you here the cold chain that's required for these vaccines. So the first stop there obviously is the manufacturer, but then the manufacturer has to get it shipped, and that's going to be done initially out of their plant by some type of truck trailer to perhaps a ship or air or rail line, and then to a distribution center, and then finally to the place that's actually going to administer the vaccine. All along the way, these vaccines have to be kept reliably frozen. Why is this so important? Well, you can see here the World Health Organization says that over half of vaccines are wasted globally because of temperature control logistics and shipment-related issues. 50% wastage is just too much for this COVID vaccine, especially knowing that it takes more than one dose of these COVID vaccines. We just can't afford to be wasting COVID vaccine because we don't keep it reliably temperature controlled. And thus, I think that Carrier is positioned well to increase their business as this vaccine distribution gets started, hopefully in the near future. Now, you may be thinking, but wait a minute, I know the way the government works, and the government works on giving contracts to the lowest bidder. In this case, I'm not quite sure the lowest bidder is exactly what we want. I think we're looking for a company that has a history of providing quality products that can function reliably, and I think Carrier is definitely one of those companies. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Carrier does more than just refrigeration. They also do HVAC and fire and security. I'm not going to go into the HVAC and fire and security on this short video, but if you pause the video, you can stop here and see some of the products that Carrier is involved in manufacturing. So let's just get a quick peek at how Carrier is doing in their business. You can see here that their HVAC orders are up 25% year over year. Their refrigeration orders are up 15% year over year. Their fire and security products are actually down 10% year over year. Look at the total Carrier orders. They're up 15% year over year. You can see that they've increased their free cash flow during the third quarter of this year compared to last year significantly. In July, they gave their outlook for what they saw as sales, adjusted operating profit, and free cash flow. You can see that they are just above where they projected back in July. Why else do I like Carrier? Well, two things. Their price to earnings ratio, you can see it's coming in right there about just below 16. Certainly reasonable. Much more reasonable when compared to some of these other stocks that are coming in at much higher P/E ratios. And then they give a dividend. It's not a giant dividend. It's only 0.83%, but that's certainly much more than my high yield savings account is making right now. What else? Well, you can see here that Carrier is on a little bit of a dip. It's come down from right around $42 a share, $41 a share, down to $37.92. So it's a chance to buy it while it's not quite at its peak. Now, as always, do your homework. There's no guarantee that this stock is going to go up. Now, I think it's important to mention here the concept of diversification. I do not put all my money into one individual stock. I probably own about 50 or 60 individual stocks. But I also own some ETFs. I own some mutual funds. I have some bond funds. The concept of diversification is incredibly important, I think, when you're trying to keep your money safe. You know, if you're saving for your future, saving for retirement, you don't want to put this all into one stock or even 2 or 10. At least that's my opinion. I really am trying to invest. I'm looking for good companies that I think will continue to grow and provide a reasonable return. We'd all love to hit the Amazon at $10 a share or Tesla at $10 a share, but it's not the norm. And I hope you'll keep that in mind as you are continuing your investing journey. Until then, give us a thumbs up if you like this. And if you didn't, don't give us a thumbs down.